Today's episode of Lee's Unpopular Opinions is brought to you by Anchor. Anchor is a website and app that lets you host and distribute your podcast. If you haven't already heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Allow me to explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor itself will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you. Hey guys, welcome back to Lee's Unpopular Opinions podcast, where I give my unpopular opinions, hot takes, and thoughts on things. Welcome back to my podcast once again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. So first off, here's a couple life updates about me. Okay, so I don't know if I told you guys this, about me. I forgot if I told you guys this in the last podcast episode, but in October of last year, October 2021, I left my job at the department store that I told you guys I used to work at, and now I work as a math tutor at a tutoring center. I used to work at Target, but I don't work there anymore. And I forgot if I told you guys that, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to, I don't know, give you guys life updates. Yeah, I really enjoy math tutoring and I love math. I tutor kids from first grade to 12th grade at this tutoring center, and it's like the best thing ever. It's just, I just really love having like a job that I enjoy. I just wanted to say that. I really enjoy math and I love my job. I'm pretty much working there until I get a job in my field, the engineering field and stuff like that. But I just wanted to, mention that I really love my job. I love it so much more than working at, the department store. No shade to Target, Target is Target. What can you do? It's not bad, but personally, I just didn't care for it anymore. But yeah, Target wasn't like horrible. I had a good time, but I just didn't care to work there anymore. But I'm just really enjoying the job at the math center or the tutoring center that I tutor math at. It's totally awesome and I really enjoy it. And I love working there. And it's just nice to have a nice job to work at until I find like a job in my field and stuff. Also, another life update. I got my nails done and I think they look so cute. It's so random, but I don't know. I just felt like saying it. They're pink and like I really like them. I'll post it for you guys on Imager and I'll leave the link in the description episode of this in the description of this episode if you guys want to like check it out or something. I don't even know why I'm telling you guys that, but whatever. I really like my nails. They're just so cute. I just want to show you guys. Well, yeah, you can click the link if you guys want to look at it. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, that's about it for like life updates about me. So now that all of that's done, let's get into today's episode. Today I'm going to be talking all about social media. This is definitely going to be an episode that I'm going to really enjoy. I've been waiting to talk about this episode for quite some time. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about, the good and the bad, the good aspects, the toxic aspects of social media and just like all around the whole shebang when it comes to social media. Um but I am mainly going to be talking about the toxic aspects of social media, which mainly focus on like mob mentality, groupthink, having beliefs just because it's trendy, the good and bad, and the toxic parts of stan culture and hate train culture and stuff like that. I'm also going to be talking about like why I deleted my Twitter and my Tumblr like more in depthly. I know in the past I've told you guys, oh, one day I'm going to make an episode about why I deleted my Twitter and my Tumblr and blah blah blah. So yeah, this episode would be the episode that I talk about that basically. So I think we should like start off with like a little beginning or a little intro, like the very beginning of social media, at least for me. Yeah. So the beginning of social media for me was when I was in the 5th grade, I made a Bebo account. Bebo was basically it was just like another MySpace. My big sister had a MySpace, but I never had a MySpace. I had a Bebo and all of the people in my 5th grade class, they would always talk about Bebo and how they have a Bebo account and blah blah. And so I totally wanted to get one too, just to connect with my classmates after school. Like I thought it was the coolest thing. Like, oh, hey, I don't have to wait to the next day to like talk to my classmates. We can talk online. Oh my god, that's so cool. Like, or even like when we started doing instant messages, like I thought it was the coolest thing. So I got a Bebo account and like I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed staying connected with my classmates. I had a super cool Bebo page. I had like little music, at the bottom, kind of like how MySpace does. Bebo was basically just another MySpace. It was cool. But yeah, so that happened. And then in the sixth grade, the last grade before middle school, sixth grade was the last thing for elementary school for me because in seventh and eighth grade I would go to middle school, but sixth grade was the last grade for elementary school for me. So in sixth grade, I got a Facebook. I added all of my elementary school classmates. And yeah, because a lot of them had Facebooks too, so I got a Facebook too. So I added a whole bunch of my elementary school classmates. Then in the seventh grade, when I went to middle school, I added a lot of my middle school classmates to my Facebook. And I would always be on Facebook updating my status with stuff I did for the day and my thoughts and my opinions and just anything that would come to my mind. And I would always add like pictures and cute selfies and stuff like that. Like I would always like communicate with my friends from middle school and stuff like that, my friends from choir and all this other stuff and just stuff like that on Facebook. That's the type of things I would do. Um then in eighth grade, I made a Tumblr. I overheard about Tumblr from one of my classmates, so I made one and I added some of my eighth grade friends that had a Tumblr as well. Back then, I loved Tumblr so much. Like, I would literally go on Tumblr and just scroll for hours on end, like on the weekend when I'm done with all my homework. All I did was scroll on Tumblr, like all the time. And, Tumblr, well, depending on the Tumblr you follow, it had like a lot of pictures of like celebrities and fans and stands and stuff like that. And like for me, that's what a lot of Tumblr uh what a lot of my Tumblr feed consisted of, because I followed a lot of my classmates on Tumblr and I followed a lot of like different Tumblr pages that I would find that posted like cool aesthetic stuff, and like they would post cool movie scenes, cool like scenery, like beaches and like city lights and stuff like that, and cool photo shoots from celebrities, really hilarious memes, really funny memes and jokes and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. So as they started, like, as Tumblr started posting more celebrity content and stuff like that, I started becoming like a little more obsessed with celebrities and celebrity culture and stuff. And also just from watching TV and watching like different actors and actresses and things that I liked and interviews from them and stuff, I just became a little more obsessed with celebrities and celebrity culture and whatnot. Um I became a big fan of many celebrities. I loved Rihanna, Nicki Minaj. I love, and I still like them to this day. I love Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, Miley Cyrus, Kim K, Kylie Jenner. Honestly, all the Kardashian and Jenner family. Really, I really like them. And more people and stuff like that. Um, I became really big fans of like Miley Cyrus and Kylie Jenner and stuff like that. I especially became really big fans of those two, like Miley Cyrus and Kylie Jenner and stuff. The other girls I mentioned, I'm just fans of, but I'm like a huge, huge fan of like Kylie Jenner and Miley Cyrus. Like I just really like them. Like I became like really like stands of like Miley and Kylie. For those of you who don't know, because I know I have like international listeners and stuff, a stan is like a super fan. Like it's like surpasses like fan, but like stan is like I stan you, like a super fan, like just a huge fan, like just a huge, huge fan. But anyway, so I would follow like all of these celebrity fan pages on Twitter and Tumblr. And as time went on, Cardi B started blowing up too, like in 2015, 2016. And I started really liking Cardi B too, and I stan her too. Like I love Cardi B so much. And I started following Cardi B on Twitter and Instagram, and I really stan her. And yes, 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 I'm someone who equally likes Nicki and Cardi. Like, okay, like we do exist. I don't want to get into like any like beefs. I don't know who stands who that that's like following me. I don't know who does or doesn't stand who, but yeah, I like them both equally. Don't ask me any questions about the Barb's versus Barty gang. Like I like them both equally. But yeah, we do exist. The people that like Nicki and Cardi equally do exist. I like them both. So yeah. Also, I stan Antonio Garza. Antonio Garza is a YouTuber with like millions of followers. I stan Antonio Garza so much. Like I love Antonio's YouTube channel. Like just I stan Antonio. And also I stan Doja Cat too. Um I feel like people might feel a way about some of the people I stan or like judge me or drag me, but like yeah, I don't care. Like, sorry, but like, whatever. Like, I mean, if you like them, I respect it. If you don't, I respect it. I get that, there are people who disagree with the things that my favorite celebrities have done. And even I disagree with some of the things that they have done too. Some of the celebrities I mentioned, I disagree with some of the things they've done too sometimes. But it's whatever. I still love all my faves. You guys are entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to mine. It's whatever. And oh, excuse me. Anyway, honestly, yeah, I really like the people that I just mentioned. So like honestly, there's no point in like bombarding me with your opinions on who I stand or who I'm a fan of. Let's just agree to disagree because I don't care. Like, not every celebrity is gonna be everybody's cup of tea, and I get that. Um, but like, I love them so much, so please keep your negative opinions about who I stand to yourself because literally I don't care. And if you don't like them or you feel a way about some of the things that the people I mentioned have done, I get it, because I too feel a way about things that certain people that I love have done. I'm a stan, but I'm still, an objective person. I can be objective and be, real and stuff like that. So I get where other people may be coming from if they feel a way about them or if they don't like them and stuff. I respect it. I respect how you feel, but personally, I still like them, and I just, I like who I like and stuff like that. Um, yeah, so try to keep, negative opinions about who I stand to yourself, please. Because, literally I don't care. Like also I respect who other people stand as well. I don't judge people based off of who they stand either. Like, you like who you like, it's whatever. But yeah, please don't judge me or drag the people I like in the comments, please. Like, let's just remember to be respectful. Yeah, so and another thing, I think I already said this at the first episode, but still, don't try not to like I mean, not that many people. I mean, some people do talk to me. So let me even say, yeah, let me just mention this. There's no point in really asking me like stuff about like pop culture moments and stuff like that because literally I do not care. Like I said in episode 1 of the podcast, I literally do not care about like the entirety of celebrity and celebrity culture and stuff. Like I like some celebrities, but just like the culture of like celebrity culture and who's doing what and stuff like that. Like literally it doesn't matter, and I'm not like a media analyst or like a celebrity news reporter, so try not to like ask me stuff about like pop culture, like, oh my god, what were your thoughts about when this celebrity did this or when this influencer did that, because literally I do not care. Like I do not care. Yeah, like I just don't care. Like this is not Pop Crave, okay? Like or this is not E Entertainment. Like I do not care. Like just try not to ask me anything about pop culture because I don't care. Anyway, let's get back on topic. I about me becoming a stan of people and stuff like that. So when I was younger, growing up, and still to this day, sometimes I do watch reruns. I would always watch shows like Hannah Montana, America's Next Top Model, Flavor of Love, I Love New York, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Bad Girls Club, and lots of other stuff. And I still watch reruns of it now to this day. And I really enjoyed like watching celebrities and watching funny shows or funny sitcoms or funny reality TV shows, funny interviews or entertaining interviews of celebrities and stuff like that. And I just realized I really enjoyed it, and it was a huge interest of mine. So as time went on, I started like developing a huge part of like my interests and personality and stuff like that around like the people I stand. Well, not my personality. I've always had my own personality. I don't gain it from watching things. I've always had my own personality, but I a huge part of my interest, not necessarily personality. I take that back. I developed a huge part of my interest around the people I stand. And it continued much, much, much more as time went on. They were definitely my main interest. Like, how some people like sports or like the Olympics and stuff like that. Like those are like their interests and like what they follow or what they're interested in, right? I also followed like a lot of mutual people on Twitter and Tumblr who I stand because that was my interest and stuff like that. And I loved those celebrities. And I referred to the people who I followed on Twitter who like stand who I stand, and we have the same interests like celebrity wise and pop culture wise, I guess. I refer to them as my mutuals. Um they were like an online friend group I was in, and we befriended each other due to like the same interests and stuff. We would always talk about all the things we love about the people we stand, positive news about our favorite celebrities, responding to the things they do, stuff like that. Like I told you guys in the last podcast episode, ever since Nia and I didn't hang out anymore, I have not had a single like BFF friend like that. And in addition to having like situational friends, like friends that I converse with in class, like acquaintances that I'm only like cool with just because we have the same class and we sit next to each other and stuff. In addition to having that, in school and only seeing them in class and stuff, I also had like my actual other friend group. I also had online friends. Like we bonded online, and I never met them in person before, but I just really enjoyed their stuff and their content, and we would talk online and stuff. And we bonded online, we socialized online over our faves and the people we stand. I met so many people online, like it was so fun. Um, and it was great. But like as time went on, I realized like stan life literally like overtook me and overtook my life. Like in a bad way. Like I came to this realization back in like 2018, I believe, like 4 years ago. Like I cared like way too much about celebrity lives. Like it got to the point where it became to be like too much. I mean, it was fun and it was interesting at first, but like it got to the point where I could not focus on like anything in my life except for celebrities and the people I stand and blah blah. Like that was my main interest. That was all I cared about. And celebrity this, celebrity that, and stand this and stand that. Like I mean, like I couldn't focus on anything in life except for then. And like I mean, like I had some interest like crocheting and stuff. Like I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but I also do like to crochet. Maybe one day I'll post the things that I've like made online, like I've made like hats, scarves, gloves, stuff like that. But maybe I'll post that one day, but whatever. Anyway, let's get back on track. I literally like I have an inner monologue that I can't ignore, kind of like JD on the TV show Scrubs, where I kind of just like daydream about the people I stand or the celebrities I love. Like I daydream about my faves, my favorite celebrities and stuff. Like I daydream about like what they're doing, if they're okay, how everything is going on with them and stuff like that. What's going on with them? I literally adore them to this day. And like I realized I need to quit. I guess it's because up until that point in 2018, at that point in my life, I guess it's because like they were such a big part in my life and they were so important to me and they were a big part of my life. Like I remember when Kylie used to do those live streams on Keek with her friends Stassi and Pia Mia back when she used to hang with Pia Mia and stuff. She still hangs out with Stassi to this day and stuff. But well, for those of you who don't know, Keek is an online streaming platform where people upload their vlogs and videos answering fan questions and stuff. Um, I would always tune into her vlogs, like always tune into like all of Kylie's vlogs on Keek and all of her like Snapchat stuff. Like this is like I'm talking like 2013. Well Snapchat, she started doing Snapchat more about like 2014, 2015ish, but her Keeks like on 2013, like I always watch all of her Keeks and I would always tune into her Snapchats all the time. And oh, and I've also followed Kylie on Tumblr. Like I followed her. I reblogged her so much. I reblogged all of her stuff. Like she was just such like a big part of like my life growing up on social media. Like she just like I was like I don't know if people are gonna judge me, but like she's someone like I like grew up with like paying attention to and like stuff like that, like and watching and stuff like that. Like just watching Keeping Up with the Kardashian show and also her spin-off show, Life of Kylie. I realized that like my like personality wise I align with like all out of all the sisters I align with Kylie the most and kind of like relate to her the most like personality wise. I mean like I really like everyone in the family, like Kylie and all of her sisters and stuff. I love all of them, but I like Kylie the most. And like honestly, I mean, and like okay, yeah, they've done things that like I don't entirely agree with. I'm still an objective person, but I still love them like all in all. Like we all make mistakes, you know what I mean? Like it's okay. Like we all make mistakes. But anyway, she was like just such a huge part of my life, like on social media. Like you guys have no idea. Like I tuned into her all the time. But then I realized like it was to the point where like I was obsessed and always following like her every move. I would watch her all the time. I was growing up with her on my screen. I was watching all of her video blogs, all of her Snapchats. I used to follow her Tumblr and follow reblog everything she was blogging and stuff like that. I was watching all of her like Snapchats and stuff like that. Like she was just so like awesome to me and like and still is to this day. And I was just always so intrigued in her life and like interested in her. Like every time I felt like being entertained or I was having a bad day, I would like watch their show to cheer me up or like or like maybe her vlogs or something like that just to cheer me up if I feel like I'm having a bad day. Or also, I've always been into makeup and stuff, but when I started getting into it more and more, I would always buy like Kylie Cosmetics makeup when it launched. Like I love her makeup so much. It compliments me really well. I use a lot of her products and stuff. Like I just really love her. Like yeah. And the same with the other girls I stand, like Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Antonio Garza, Doja Cat, Miley Cyrus, like everybody. I love them a lot. I mean, I stand Kylie and Miley the most, but yeah, I really love them. I really just really love them and stuff. And also, I would watch Antonio Garza's vlogs too when I'm feeling down. Like I really love Antonio as well. Like he's awesome. Or she. I'm sorry. Ooh, she. Sorry, Antonio Garza. Her pronouns. She goes by she. I apologize. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure. I believe that Antonio Garza is a trans woman. So yeah, she. My apologies. I apologize if any transgendered people are like listening and stuff. I tried to, you know, want to make sure I respect everyone's pronouns and stuff like that. But yeah, Antonio Garza is she because she's trans and those are her pronouns. That's what she identifies as. So yeah, I'm always very respectful of people's pronouns, what they identify as, and stuff like that. But yeah, so let me continue. Just wanted to put that out there. But anyway, where was I? Yeah, so I really stand all of those people. But anyway, so after a while, I realized that even though I stand them and I love them and everything, I realized that I don't have a life outside of them. I would have like literally I would have nothing else in my life that I would do. So I would worry about celebrities like all the time. Well, let me not say I had nothing else. I had some things like I would do fun things in the house and I would play with my sister and sometimes and just like hang with like close friends and do things sometimes, but I didn't have much of a life outside of them or outside of celebrities. I didn't have much else in my life that I would do. So I would just worry about celebrities all the time and I would follow them and follow what they were doing. And, that was my main source of entertainment. Like, you could ask me everything about what was going on in celebrity world, and I would tell you front to back. Like, there was a time where you could ask me, and I would tell you everything. But if you ask me what's going on with me personally, I don't say anything because I didn't have much of a life. And I had to realize that like as time went on, also, as time went on like on Twitter, like I realized that the way Twitter was set up like with all the trending topics and stuff, people I had to realize it the hard way. People are way too invested in what celebrities do in like their off time. Like there would be trending topics about like what certain celebrities are doing and who they're dating, when they were last seen, or who they were last seen leaving a restaurant with, or who they're last seen like having a date with, or like what they do in their free time, what they wear to certain events, and so on and so forth. And I had to realize like who cares? Like in real life, we don't follow normal everyday people that closely. So why should we follow celebrities that closely? You know? Like I would never follow an individual person that closely. So why should I follow a celebrity that closely? Like for example, like remember I told you guys I followed like a lot of my mutuals on Twitter and Tumblr about like my stan mutuals on Twitter and Tumblr. When Kylie Jenner and Tyga broke up, me and all the other Kylie stans on Tumblr, we were so shook in like the Tumblr group chat. Like we were shook. Like we had like a chat of like all the stuff we would talk, like we were like, or like a reblogging, like we were reblogging like each other's posts, like, oh my god, I can't believe they broke up, like, oh my god, are they gonna get together, like, oh my god, like we were talking about their relationship and everything, like, are they gonna get back together, what's gonna happen, oh my god, I'm so intrigued, and like what's going, you like, like, but looking back, it's like, who cares? she was young and she was dating and she broke up with her boyfriend, and like, it's okay. Sometimes, life happens, things happen, and now she's with Travis Scott, and that's okay too. Sometimes things don't work out with one person and they will work out with another person, and that's okay too. That's fine. And she's having a baby, God bless her, and motherhood and everything and stuff like that. That's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's okay. And there was also like so much celebrity news and headlines about Cardi B and Offset's relationship. And it's like, who literally fucking cares? Like, it's like, I don't even care anymore. Like, and I love her and stuff like that, but it's like, who cares? There are people in real life. There are, like, I mean, yeah, I was told, I mean, not what I was told, but the blogs and stuff. Not that I believe everything I read online, because sometimes some headlines can be very misleading. And, in the words of Cardi B and Offset themselves, they do anything for clout. Because, some people, some blogs really do anything for clout. So I don't know what was going on with their relationship, but from what it looked like they like had like an on and off relationship and stuff like that. But it's like, and there were like so many rumors about like, Offset and infidelity and stuff like that. But it's like, and people had so many think pieces and stuff like that and all this other stuff, and it's like, who cares? There are people in real life that have on and off celebrities. Do we worry about it? No. So why care about celebrities like on and off relationships? And now, they're back together, and now they just had another child. So that's good for them. You know what I mean? It's like in real life, it's like, honestly, like, who cares? Like, the people in real life could probably have relationship drama that's equally like Cardi B and Offset's relationship drama in the past. And do we worry about it? No, because they're real people. So why should we care about it with celebrities and stuff like that? You know what I mean? Like, who cares? They're doing them and we're doing us. Like, and they're back together. That's their business. And they have a kid. That's their business. You know what I mean? They're doing them. Let them do them. Like, why should we care so much about relationships and like and stuff like that? Like, why should we worry about it? Like, I realized I was so invested in it, and that's when I realized, like, I wanted a detox from celebrity news and anything in regards to celebrities. And it's crazy to think about, because there was once a time where like I would watch it and be so intrigued and so interested in all this other stuff, and like I just realized, like, I'm taking in so much, like, and I'm so invested in other people's lives. And it's like, for what? Do I even have my own life? Like, I just wanted a detox from celebrity news and anything in regards to celebrities. Like, I was taking in so fucking much from Twitter and social media and society and like online and all this other stuff. Like, it was so toxic for me. It made me so exhausted after a while. Like, and I wanted to tap out. Like, I didn't care anymore about other celebrities and celebrity news anymore, and I didn't want to take in all this like celebrity information anymore. Yeah, I just didn't care for it anymore. Like, celebrities unfollowing each other and stuff even made news. Can you believe that? Like, I remember one time some blog posted that like Nicki Minaj and Drake unfollowed each other. Who cares? How does that even make sense to like post that, or how does that even make sense to become like news? Like, who cares? How does that even make news? Like, people take on following someone is such a big deal. Maybe they just didn't care to see each other on their timelines anymore, but like, who cares? Like, why does that even become news? Who people do and don't follow? Like, who cares? And also, after Kylie became a mom, she doesn't post much on Snapchat anymore or Instagram stories and stuff anymore as much as she used to, unless it's like to promote her brand or something, which is fine. Now, that's not all the time, but just like sometimes, or a good amount of the time. I'd say like maybe 60% of the time, but the other 40% is like when she's posting stuff. But like, I mean, like, a lot of the times, like, she doesn't really post like as much as she used to, like in 2015 and 2016 and stuff. Like, or unless like a good 60% of the time, it's like, posting like her brands and Kylie Skin, Kylie Baby, Kylie Cosmetics, and all this other stuff. But now, like, she's like and like the 60% is that, and the 40% is like her posting like other stuff, like her life and stuff like that. But which is fine. Gotta promote, gotta support the brand and all that. But like, promote your brand, and I get that. But yeah, she definitely doesn't post like post like on Snapchat, like about like her life and events and stuff like that on Snapchat or on Instagram stories as much as she used to in 2015. And I remember her saying on like her show Life of Kylie, which was like her spin-off show from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Life of Kylie was her show. And I remember her saying on the show, like, she talked about how like she wanted to have a little more privacy in her life and in her relationship, and that she talked about like, even though she loves her life, and she's blessed, to be so financially stable and stuff like that, and very successful brands and businesses, especially at a young age and stuff like that. She talked about like how she does want to be more private on her Snapchat and her Instagram in regards to like certain personal matters. And that's totally fine. I get it. Plus, she's a mom now too, so I get it. And literally, like, but literally, to be honest, like, I miss like her content like so much. Like, if you actually I just miss her. Like, if you actually watch like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, like the show, yeah, if you watch it and like, for example, if you watch like the Keeping Up with the Kardashians show and you watch like all of like Kylie's Snapchat stories, like before Kylie had the baby, like 2015 and all the other stuff. Like, if you watch all of that stuff versus then and you watch like it all now, like, she doesn't show up as much on the show anymore as she used to, as she lives a much more private life, like day to day, especially online. Like, she only posts like certain stuff, and also she doesn't post as many like Snapchat stories or Instagram stories about like stuff that she used to do, like, oh, going out with her friends, stuff like that. Well, she does sometimes, but just not all the time, just as not much she used to, which, I get it. And she doesn't post as many like I said, Snapchat stories or Instagram stories and just stuff like that. And after her makeup video collab with James Charles, she talked about how like she would like sometimes get like bullied as a child a lot for expressing who she is, so she hides. Oh, somebody's calling me, just a second. Okay, I am back. Sorry, somebody called me. I had to get a call, but I'm back. Anyway, as I was saying, so after her makeup video collab with James Charles, she talked about how like she would get bullied a lot as a child, like for expressing who she is and stuff like that, whether it be like in school or like on the show and stuff like that. And so like now, excuse me. So now she like hides who she is a lot. Like, she hides her actual personality. So if people bash her, they're not really bashing like the actual her. They're bashing the her that she wants them to see. So it's like, you're not really hurting me, you're hurting the outer surface. That's how like she described it. And I get that. It's not easy. People can be very mean online sometimes. I get that. But like yeah, so like when she stopped posting as much as she used to, I would get sad. Like, when she stopped posting as much, I was like so sad and I was so upset. Like, I miss seeing her. I miss like seeing her face. I miss her keeks and her live streaming, like her keeks. I miss her Snapchat. I miss her spin-off show. I miss her being on the actual show. I mean, well, it ended recently anyway, but that's okay. But like I just missed her. I missed her content. Like, I just missed her. And like I would like actually be like sad, like sad. And that's crazy, right? Why should someone who's been in the public eye for 15 years, who has decided, you know what, I'm going to tone down my content a little bit in terms of like my Snapchat and Instagram stories in order to maintain certain aspects of my privacy and stuff like that? Like, why should that hurt my feelings or affect my life at all? Why should a personal decision that she made for herself hurt my feelings? I should be happy for her. As her fan, I'm happy for her. And I'm happy she's doing something that's good for her in terms of her happiness. I'm really happy that she's, settled down, she's happy, and she's doing what she wants to do in her life. You know what I mean? She's realized, like, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to blah, blah? What do I want to be? And, like, she has her brands, and she's, put her foot down on, like, business wise and like doing all these things. Like, I'm just to really watching her from like a child to now, and just really seeing her develop as a person and all this other stuff. I'm really happy for her. And you know what, if she wanted to like, tone herself down a bit and just be certain private a little bit more in terms of like her privacy and stuff like that, that should be fine. She made a personal decision for her, and I'm happy for her. I'm happy she's doing something good for her. I'm happy that she's doing what it takes to make her happy, and it shouldn't have to affect me. And the same thing with Antonio Garza. I stand Antonio literally so much. And for those of you who don't know, Antonio Garza, like, Antonio Garza, she's a YouTuber with millions of followers, and when Antonio stopped posting content on YouTube, like more frequently, I literally became so sad. Like Antonio stopped posting a lot of content, like and then I think as of recent, Antonio just stopped posting, like, period. Well, I mean, it makes sense. They're like a little bit younger, and also they need to like they're a little bit younger, and they want to start, like, also they were in school and stuff, and they moved to LA, and also they were having like a lot of anxiety, so they wanted to just kind of calm down and not post as many videos, which I totally get, and I respect that. um but I was so sad. I was like, oh my God, I miss Antonio. I miss their videos. I miss their content, blah, blah. And I became so sad because I stand Antonio so much. But it's like, why should that affect my personal mood so much? It shouldn't matter. They're doing what, Antonio's going to do what Antonio wants to do. That's her decision, and all of that. That's what Antonio wants to do, is like, look, if Antonio's like, I want to, not post as much. I have a little bit of anxiety. Also, my life is really busy. I'll be back, like, later, but I don't want to post as much stuff like that. Why should that affect my personal mood? Like, do you see what I mean when I say, like, I'm too hooked on, like, celebrity life and influencer life? Like, why is what they're doing, like, or me not seeing them, affecting my personal life and feelings? It shouldn't matter. My personal life and feelings shouldn't be hurt because someone I love chose to live life more privately. You know what I mean? Like, that's when I realized I needed to tap out and tune out and gain a life outside of social media and stan life and being a stan. Stan life was literally ruining my life because I felt like I kept up with people, like, celebrity wise, too much. And I kept worrying about their lives and investing in their lives, as opposed to worrying and investing in my own life. And I still support and love them to death. Like, I love them so much. But, I know where to stop in terms, like, when it comes to, like, my personal life and how harmful it is to obsess over, like, someone so much, to like, and that person doesn't even know me. You know what I mean? It's harmful to obsess so much about someone who doesn't even know me. And I realized I have to, like, analyze myself and realize what my life is missing, such that I fill the void with celebrity culture and stan life for, like, entertainment and stuff. And I realized how time consuming it was, and how much time I had spent focusing on them and not me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in addition to, like, figuring out, what void do I have in myself in terms of entertainment, and, keeping myself busy and entertained, that I fill that void with celebrity culture. In addition to that, also, it's really time consuming. It to, like, keep up with, like, a whole bunch of celebrities, like, all the time, and always worried about celebrity culture and celebrity news and every single celebrity in the world. Like, it's a lot. Like, you know what I mean? It was time consuming, and it was too much. I spent so much time focusing on them and not even me. I wanted to start going back to living my life in real time. Like, I'm always, like, picking up my phone and looking at my screen and looking at, like, what they're doing and stuff like that. Like, no, like, I want to live life off screen as well. And I want to live my online life. I want to have my off, let me repeat that. Sorry. I want to have my offline life be as, like, lit and awesome as my real life. I want my real life to be fun too. And, my obsession, like, in terms of celebrity culture and stan life, it was really harmful for my mental health after a while. Like, well, not like really, well, like, it was harmful. Not like, let me not over exaggerate, but it did have an effect on my mental health. Not really harmful, but just, like, moderately harmful. But regardless of, like, the hierarchy or, like, the spectrum of harmfulness, it was still harmful. So, period. The obsession was pretty, it was harmful for my mental health. It got to the point where seeing my faves, or the people I stand, or my favorite celebrities, seeing how they're doing or how everything is going with them, or seeing them, would literally affect my mood. If my favorite celebrity wasn't posting, then I was upset because I didn't see them. If people were making fun of them online, I was upset because people were making fun of them online. If people were doing this, or they were having a bad day, I was having a bad day. Like, I was literally even daydreaming about them. Like, what are they doing? I wonder if they're okay. Da, da, da. Like, it was so insane. strangers should not have to influence my life like that. Like, even though I love all the people I stand, realistically, they're just strangers. I don't know them like that, and they don't even know I exist. You know what I mean? So, like, so I had to really cut back on stan life. I only want to have healthy engagement with celebrities or content creators. Healthy engagement, not unhealthy. You know what I mean? And also, another thing I decided to start doing is I decided to start viewing celebrities as just like people, just people, you know what I mean? As opposed to like ordained figures and like gods and goddesses and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I sat down one day and I thought to myself, you know, I want to buy, like, I was thinking, like, one time, like, when I was still heavily engraved in stan culture, I was thinking to myself, I want to buy all these posters of them on my wall. I want to put all of them on my wall. I want to have them as my screensaver on my phone. Oh, and I actually did used to have like them as my screensaver on my phone. Like, all of like 2016 to like 2018, Kylie was always my screensaver. Always. Either it was either Kylie or, yeah, it was usually Kylie. Yeah, it was either Kylie or somebody from Tumblr or stuff like that. But usually Kylie. She was always my screensaver for my phone. But the way I think about it is like, do they have their fans? Like, do those celebrities, not even Kylie, but just all the celebrities I stand, or celebrities in general, like, do they have their fans as the screensaver for their phones? Would Kylie post a poster of me in her room? You know what I mean? It's like, no, like, or not even Kylie, just all the other celebrities. Like, no, like, she's focusing on her. So I want to focus on me. I can't let Stan life take over my whole life, because the celebrities that I stand, or celebrities in general, they don't let the life of their fans take over their whole lives. Like, those celebrities, their mood doesn't, like, they don't let their stands take over their whole lives. So why should we as stands or as fans let them take over our whole lives? You know what I mean? Like, I really needed to take the time for introspection to realize what I'm missing in my life, that I have replaced my whole life with celebrity culture and stan culture. I guess I realized that my entertainment needs and social life needs were not fulfilled, and I fulfilled that with like stan life and celebrity entertainment as well. And I kind of had to realize that, because it's like, I didn't really have much of a, I mean, I had a life, but like, outside of that, I was kind of just like bored. What would I be doing in the house? Like, nothing. Like, I finished all my homework and then do what? Like, I don't have friends. Like, I like, so I was like, I would just focus on celebrity life all the time. And it's and so I had to realize that, I have to fulfill my entertainment needs and social life needs with something else, because I was fulfilling my social life needs with like my mutual stands online and stuff like that. That's how I would get my social life. I would talk to I would blog about like how my day was and talk about like myself, my life, and opinions and thoughts, and there would be the only people responding back like, "Oh my God, Lee, like, she's online, blah blah." We would talk and all this other stuff, and it's like, those were the people that I had like an online social life with. You know what I mean? And I guess that's like, I guess my social life needs weren't being met and stuff like that. And I fulfilled that with like stan life and my mutual stands and stuff like that. And my entertainment needs weren't being met. So I fulfilled that with celebrity entertainment and things of that nature. So I guess that's what it was. And also, I realized, it's kind of weird. To me, like, not weird, but well, okay, well, let me just finish my sentence. I realized, like, it's kind of like weird or awkward to like have a person as a hobby, as an as a hobby, or like as an interest. Interest should include like things like hobbies like swimming or rowing or like crocheting or like playing basketball or like solving a Rubik's cube, which, oh, a side note, which I actually can do, and I think I've gotten my time down to like 4 minutes. I can solve a Rubik's cube. That was random, but I mean, whatever. Maybe I'll post myself solving a Rubik's cube one day. But anyway, that I'm getting sidetracked. But anyway, I feel like interest should include hobbies like that, like hobbies, like actual hobbies, not like people. If someone came up to me and said, "What are your interests?" I should actually be able to list like interests, like crocheting or doing this or doing that or different crafts or watch TV or doing this, not like listing people. Like in real life, if we see someone like our coworker or a neighbor or an old classmate, we wouldn't sit there and invest in them and their lives as our main interest. So I don't want to view individual people as an interest either. And I mean, I get that like celebrities, okay, this is something where it's kind of like a like I get it from both sides because I get like celebrities are like a part of the media and entertainment, and as a society, we engage in media and entertainment. So of course we're going to be invested in people. Like I get that. Like I don't think that if you're a stan, it means like, oh, you're pressed over somebody or you're pressed over somebody who doesn't know you exist and blah blah or like and stuff like that. Like I think it's okay to be a stan if you meet someone and you're like, wow, this person really moved me and I love their content and stuff. That's okay. I don't think that means you're a loser or a weirdo and stuff like that. I'm just saying how I personally let it overtake my life and stuff, and I'm trying to like cut back from that. But I want to get more involved in hobbies so I can fulfill my life and my needs and stuff and actually have a life in like those hobbies as opposed to having to like fulfill the void in my life with like celebrities and entertainment and stand and celebrity entertainment and stand life and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't have hobbies outside of stand life. You know what I mean? And I want to have hobbies outside of stand life. Like I want to when somebody asks me what are my hobbies, I want to be able to actually list hobbies, not just list people. And then like I said, that's no shade. Like I'm not dragging anybody else out there or I don't want to make anybody else feel bad for being a stan or a big fan of someone. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a stan. I just think how I personally was engaging with stan culture was a bit like much for me. Then and I had to like step back just to like actually develop a life and develop a personality. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not dragging anybody else out there or trying to make anybody else feel bad for being a stan or being a fan of someone. Um, if you listening to this, if you're just like a huge fan or a huge stan of someone and you have like a celebrity that you really love or just change your life, I respect that. And I don't want to make you feel bad or feel inferior for being someone's fan. It's okay to be a fan or a stan. Even I'm still like, even to this day, like as you're listening to this, I'm still a big fan of Kylie Jenner, Miley Cyrus, Antonio Garza, Doja Cat. Like I still like stand them all in all. I'm just personally, I'm just done with stan culture. But I still respect the people who are the fans and stands of other celebrities, and I definitely want to put that out there. And also, I do want to say, not all aspects of stan culture are bad. Like, while I do understand that there are many negative effects of stan culture, I think there is a value in pointing out the positives. And as someone who relates a lot to the people I stan, I've been able to like experience benefits of stan culture, of stan culture, as well. Like there are some benefits. When I was on Twitter, I saw my mutuals who became friends in real life off of like sharing similar interests and love or respect for like the celebrities we stan. Like I know people who literally are friends in real life, you know what I mean, off of stan culture. Like they've made friends and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Um also they've like they've affected personally, I don't know about anybody else, but the people I've stand, they've affected how I think of myself in a positive way, and they've helped my self-esteem through like a lot of the life advice they give. Like they've helped me like relieve stress too, because like for many people, being fans of certain influencers and artists and other celebrities can be like therapeutic sometimes, and it can help them when they're feeling down. It made me like a happier person in a way, because sometimes when I'm sad, I'll be able to like pull myself out of the dark by watching like funny, entertaining content and videos and stuff like that from the people I stand and stuff like that, or funny like vlogs that they would post, or funny like videos, like some of Kylie's funny and entertaining content, some of Antonio Garza's YouTube content, or some of Cardi B's shows, her show on Facebook Live. She has a an online show on Facebook Live. Just watching stuff like that has helped me to pull me out of a mood and stuff like that, or a bad mood and stuff like that. Just watching funny, entertaining people, it was fun. And I think if you're smart when you're entering stand filled spaces, there is a way to make use of these benefits while avoiding toxicity as much as possible. Some parts of Stan Twitter breed toxicity and toxicness and negativity. So it's good to, block, mute, ignore all that, any block or whatever, block any hate or negativity on social media. Block, mute, ignore, delete, buy, like period. Um but yeah, anyway, I had to leave the Stan culture part of social media and just leave stan culture because it was exhausting and tiring for me, and I wanted to develop a life and a personality outside of social media and stan culture. So I'm trying to reinvent my personality. And also, I want to get into more hobbies such that I won't need to fill the void of boredom in my head with celebrity news and stuff like that. I remain entertained by watching like cool movies and fun entertaining TV shows now. That's what I do now. And also I do watch funny YouTube videos and funny meme videos on YouTube too. Um I love memes. Memes are awesome. And also, I watch fun TikToks, and I have curated and narrowed down my TikTok feed to include absolutely nothing about celebrities at all, or celebrity life, or stan culture. Only fun memes and cool videos that I personally really, really like. Also, I left like social media for other reasons as well. Outside of stan culture and stan life, there were other reasons why I like left social media. So I definitely wanted to talk about that as well. So let's start off. So okay, on social media around like 2013, 2014, that was when the Black Lives Matter movement started like arising and stuff. Like about a year or two after Trayvon Martin died. And like it was really sad how he died. And even though I definitely have my fair share of critiques about Black Twitter and social justice warriors and woke Twitter and all that nonsense and stuff like that, I still do support like the general cause of the Black Lives Matter movement. Like, it sucks when innocent people are, profiled because of their skin color. Like, like actual racism is like wrong. So, when I heard more like in 2000 like 13 or whatever, or whenever that happened, when I heard more about the case, I started like I started reading more about it, and I was just really upset and sad, for Trayvon Martin and even Eric Gardner or all the people that happened to in that time, and even now like all the time stuff. But when I heard more about the case back then, I was really upset. It was just really a sad story. And I started speaking out about it more and blogging more about it online and like talking out more about it like on Tumblr and Twitter and stuff like that. And I would always use hashtags about the stuff that the topics I'm posting on and stuff. So a lot of people from Black Twitter, they would find my blog entries through hashtags and follow me. And I would follow them back. Yeah, that happened on Tumblr and like Twitter as well. Like, so yeah, it happened on both Tumblr and Twitter. Like on Tumblr as well. Like, um, I would post a lot of this stuff and I would use hashtags and stuff. And a lot of people from the Black side of like from Black Tumblr and stuff, they would follow me. Black social justice Tumblr, they would follow me, and I always follow back and stuff. And yeah, and sometimes I'd follow people from like my school and stuff, and I'd follow people on Tumblr and Twitter, and like I'd always follow back and whatnot. And some of the people that I would post, like they would post like their their thoughts and their think pieces and stuff like that about like social justice and race and stuff. And at first, like and I understood where they were coming from, because sometimes those conversations do need to be brought up, because we do need to have important conversations about race and equality and the wrongfulness of discrimination and stuff like that. But as time went on, as I followed them and viewed like the rest of their hot takes and opinions on things and their other opinions on like issues and stuff like that, I realized they just sounded fucking stupid. Like they thought everything was offensive. Everything is a race issue. Everything is this. Everything is that. They would get mad at everything. Even things that it didn't even make sense to get mad at, they would get mad at. Like it was so annoying. And like I think the problem was that I followed people that followed me first, and I followed people that I knew from school and all this other stuff, as opposed to like following people for liking their content. I didn't care about their content. I'm like, oh, they followed me, let me follow back. But it's like I need to follow. I need to see your content and see like, okay, do I really want to follow you back? Like, am I okay with this content? Like, no. And if not, then no. You know. And after a while as well, I realized I hated Tumblr. Like the social justice warriors had ruined it. It was overwhelming and annoying. And I hated Twitter too. Like everyone would make me so mad. So on Tumblr, through hashtags, I tried to find, like, once I realized that I was leaning towards like being an egalitarian and being someone who like doesn't really care for social justice warriors, and someone who's kind of like annoyed by woke Twitter and annoyed by the wokesters, and I'm kind of like, not that, like, I'm more so an egalitarian and stuff like that. I'm not really like a social justice warrior person. Once I started realizing that, um, on Tumblr through hashtags, I tried to find more like-minded people like me, other rational, non-radical, non-social justice warrior, non-feminist people like me. And I loved it. We shared the same ideas on things, which, and these same ideas are, the same ideas that I share with you guys on this podcast, like the fact that I think cultural appropriation is stupid, pro blackness is cool, but hating white people is just as bad as hating black people, stuff like that. And I just meeting like-minded people like me online. And also, I disagreed with many of the sentiments and uh hot takes and opinions about like that, like a lot of feminists would say. And like, the people that I follow, they opened up good conversations to that. It was great to meet other people who share the same views as me, and it made me feel like I was less alone. It made me feel like, okay, maybe I'm not the only person with these thoughts. You know what I mean? um and sometimes like I would see like social justice warriors, and like stupid stuff they would post, and like I used to like sometimes like argue with them online. Like I would pick fights and argue with social justice warriors and stuff, and drag them on Twitter and Tumblr, and and stuff like that, because they said things that I disagree with, or things that I thought were just plain old stupid. But after a while, I realized that arguing with people online are stupid and pointless and just a waste of my time. It's like, for what? You feel how you feel, and I'm going to feel how I feel. Who am I to tell you how to feel? Who are you to tell me how to feel? Like, whatever. Let's just agree to disagree and move on. I don't want to argue with people. Like, fuck it. Like, Um, so then after a while, I just stopped caring for social media all in all. Back then, Twitter and Tumblr were my main aspects of like social media and stuff. So after a while, I just stopped caring for social media just completely, like for Twitter and Tumblr. And I was just over it all in all. Like, I just stopped enjoying it. I would only get on it every now and then, and I would get on it much less frequently than I used to. And anytime I would get on Twitter or Tumblr, I would see something instantly within like 5 minutes that reminded me why I hated Twitter and Tumblr in the first place, and why I don't go on there as much as I used to in the first place. I hated everything that social justice warriors and people on Twitter would like have to say and stuff like that, and Tumblr. And and then it was affecting my mental health again. Like, I hated being surrounded by so much stupidity and negativity. So I just stopped going there overall. And after a while, I ended up deleting my Twitter and my Tumblr altogether. I was really gonna miss the entertaining parts of social media, but for me on Twitter and Tumblr, after a while, the bad outweighed the good. So I just deleted it. I just got tired. Like, and I'm just like, okay, this is affecting my mental health. Like, this is annoying me, and like it's so much negativity. I want to walk away. I don't like this anymore. People are always mad for things that don't make sense, and I just want to go. So I just deleted it. I deleted my Twitter and my Tumblr. Like, I was just tired. And honestly, the best thing that I could have done for myself was leave the bubble that is social media. Like, it's not real. And I don't think enough people like understand or like conceptualize literally that like literally social media is not real. Like, the stuff you say on social media will get you dragged in real life. Like, there's a whole like code of conduct that is exclusive to social media and not real life, and it makes no sense. And if you ever try to like do anything within like the online code of conduct, quote unquote, like if you ever try to do anything within that online code of conduct outside of the internet, then you could easily get like fucked up or dragged, or like you will not make it far in life. Like, you will get called out. Like, it's not the way the real world works. A lot of the things that people say, either one, don't matter, two, don't do anything to solve a problem, or three, is contradictory to what they said 3 months ago. People are so wishy-washy online. Like, their opinions change all the time. People switch up who they get outraged at, they're selective draggers and stuff like that. Like, it's just so annoying. The quality of my life has improved so much ever since I got off it. And also, yeah, so the quality of my life improved ever since I got off it, but also the strengthening of my beliefs increased as well, because I don't have people on my ass online telling me how I think is wrong, and I feel stronger in my beliefs. I don't have people arguing with me, calling me an Uncle Tom, calling me a coon, calling me a this or that, because I have certain beliefs and stuff like that. Like, I feel stronger in my beliefs. I used to be scared of the things I would believe in, because I felt like people would judge me, but fuck that. I don't feel ashamed anymore, and I will never feel ashamed for having an opinion that goes against like the social justice warrior general public. I'm not going to let a community as toxic as Twitter or Tumblr determine my opinions and my morals. You know what I mean? It's like no way. No way. It like Twitter's, it's already people online that are dumb anyway, so it's hard to take, you know, advice from somebody that's already an idiot. You know what I mean? It's like trying to read time from a broken clock. You're already broken. What time can you really give me? It's like that's just how I feel. It's like I'm not letting a community as toxic as Twitter or Tumblr and the social justice warriors and the crazy wokesters on there determine my opinions, my morals, my thoughts. No, not gonna happen. Also, Twitter seems like so big, but it's really just a loud minority. I could tell when I was on there, a lot of the people who say the things that they say do not go outside and talk to people, because they would get looked at crazy. Like, you see some tweets with like 100,000 to 200,000 likes and stuff like that. But if you were to go out in the real world and say that stuff, you would probably get laughed at. Like, sometimes social media is just like a cesspool of like the worst takes and dialogues, and I think it's just like a big huge echo chamber, you know and I think some people just I think some people just think that, oh, okay, something has like 100K retweets, so a whole bunch of people must feel that way. Well, okay, in real life there are people who don't feel that way, and just because they're not online doesn't mean they don't exist. You know what I mean? Like, if you took some of the stuff that people agree with you about online and you take it out to the real world, you people could easily look at you like that's a stupid thing to say. You know what I mean? And also, I think some people just say things to get retweets or attention or clout or stuff. Like, I think some people just say things just to like get a whole bunch of like attention online or like retweets and stuff for clout. Like, I don't think some I think some people just do that because maybe they don't get enough attention at home, whatever. But oh, I also think that there are like, I think that like some of the things that are in issues that are considered issues on Twitter, nobody cares about in real life. Like, it's never that deep, and I feel like that's why some people stay online discussing like their ridiculous opinions, because nobody in real life pays attention to them or acknowledges their delusions, so they have only online to talk about their deluded opinions. And I think in real life as well, people do things that are like the complete opposite of what people say they do online, or like they do things that like stem away far from what the general public, well, not even the general public, what is perceived as the general public, because Twitter seems loud, but sometimes it's not really, that many people that sometimes Twitter seems like, oh, everybody thinks this way, but it's not everybody that does think that way. But anyway, I think in real life, people do things that are the complete opposite of what people say they do online. You know what I mean? Or what a majority of people say they do online. Like, for example, when I was on Twitter, I would see women make fun of short guys all the time. But in real life, I see women date short men all the time. I could go to like a restaurant or anything. You'll see a short guy on a date with a hot girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it like women date short men in real life. And also, I see the trends on social media in terms of like bodies, like women's bodies and stuff, like where guys only like thick girls, and like girls with like big butts and big boobs, like a huge ass and big titties and stuff like that. Like, I see like online people only like thick girls, quote unquote, but in real life, guys date girls with small butts and small boobs literally all the time. Like, I see that all the time. I would see guys that are with skinny girls or with thin girls. They date girls like that all the time. You know what I mean? I also used to see guys who would say like they would never pay for dates for a girl, and like they would never pay for vacations and stuff, but like I see guys do that all the time when I go to restaurants. Like I see them pay for dates and whatnot, or if I'm at the grocery store and the guy's with his wife, I'll see him pull out his wallet and pay for like the thing when they're at the cashier and stuff like that. Like they pay for like bills. Like I see that all the time. You know what I mean? And also see girls online. I used to see girls online brag about like only wanting a guy with money, and girls would like say like in their bios, maybe they were being sarcastic, I don't know, oh it costs like $30 to hit my DMs, here's my cash app, blah blah blah, and stuff like that. And like how like some girls online would brag about like how they only want financial security out of a man, and they want the guy to pay for all the dates and all the bills and all this other stuff. But I know girls in real life who go 50-50 with guys financially literally all the time. I know girls who are 50-50 in terms of dates, bills, checks, and stuff like that, and like the check for a restaurant all the time in real life. Like you know what I mean? Like even like that literally happens all the time. Like it's like girls go 50-50 with guys financially all the freaking time. Also, people make fun of plus sized, bigger, like people and stuff like that, like big people or like fat people or plus size people and stuff like that. They make fun of like bigger people in relationships and stuff. But I see plus size people, like big people. I see plus size girls and guys that are married and in happy relationships all the time in real life. Like people drag like fat people online all the time. Like, oh, if you're fat, nobody will ever like you. Blah blah. I see fat couples every day outside going for a walk or walking their dogs every day, literally every day. Like all the things people say like they hate online is happening in real life all the time. All the things and the hot takes or like the preferences that they have that are like that they say is like a bad thing to have and stuff like that. Like it's wrong to do this, it's wrong to like short guys, it's wrong to like be fat in a relationship and stuff like that. Like all that other stuff, like or all that other stuff that they say online, like, oh, we would never do this and stuff like that. That happens in real life all the time. All the freaking time, all the time. Like people just argue for the sake of arguing because all the things people say that are stupid online, they happily exist in real life. The problem that people don't get, right? That problem is that just because something doesn't work for you does not mean it doesn't work for everybody. People should just let people live and do what they want to do. Like people, like even people will go online and attack people for liking TV shows, video games, music, and interests and stuff like that, and all this other stuff. It's so weird. It's like, for what? Let people like what they like. People act like we're all supposed to live the same life or something, or we're all supposed to same like the same things, and it's ridiculous. People are allowed to like different things. Then like people are allowed to like things that you don't like. Like it's okay. People can have different interests. Another thing about social media that like I hate is that like misinformation spreads like wildfire, and it's so annoying. Literally, it's so annoying. Like people swear they know so much and they're so educated on certain things, but they know so little. Like the amount of people who speak strongly and confidently on things they know nothing about piss me all the way off. Like some people have like fully developed opinions on things that they're not even educated about or don't even fully understand. And that happens a lot on TikTok too. But luckily I've curated my TikTok feed such that stuff like that doesn't come up on my feed, and only fun stuff comes up on my feed. But I've edited my TikTok feed such that my For You page does include that. But still, like that's it's very common. You know what I mean? Like it scares me how a lot of what circulates online is misinformation from desperate people who want views. And I think some people know that like what they post is incorrect information, but they don't care because of like clout and views and stuff. I once heard this quote online and it said, people don't care about the truth if the lie is more entertaining. And honestly, that's facts. I think some people just want to make up nonsense for views. For example, right? I remember on Reddit once I was reading this post that said that the St. Eves, is it St. Eves or St. Ives? I think it's St. Ives, St. Eves. Well, whatever. I'll just call it St. Eves. Um, the St. Eves apricot face scrub. I was reading this post. on Reddit that claimed that people were claiming. Well, no, I first saw it on Twitter before I deleted my Twitter. Then it came back up on Reddit. But anyway, the post was about the St. Eve's apricot face scrub, and people were saying that on Twitter. People were saying that the St. Eve's apricot face scrub causes micro tears on your skin, and then it went viral. And some people were trying to sue the St. Eve's company because they claim it gave them micro tears on their skin. And all the people in the Reddit post were saying that, like, well, that's what I saw on on the Twitter post was that, like, back in the day, I saw that, like, that people were trying to sue well, actually no, I think that, wait, am I remembering this right? No, sorry. Okay, I remember now. So what had happened was it was on Reddit. Once I deleted my Twitter and my Tumblr, and I went to Reddit instead. It was on Reddit, and they had a link to the Twitter post, and then I clicked the link and saw the Twitter post. So the Twitter post was that somebody was suing the St. Eve's face skincare company because they said that the St. Eve's apricot face scrub, the people who were suing claimed that the St. Eve's apricot face scrub caused micro tears on their skin. And that suing thing, it went viral. And some people were trying to sue the St. Eve's company because they claim it gave them, micro tears on their skin and stuff. So, the post on Reddit, right? All the comments in the post on Reddit, all the people on Reddit were saying that they use the St. Eve's apricot face scrub and it works just fine. They were just saying that you shouldn't use it over 3 to 4 times a week, and you should rub gently when you use it, or else it will mess up your skin. The redditors saying that the redditors, like a lot of the people on Reddit, they said that the person suing the company, that person, they probably rubbed the face scrub too hard on their face, or they probably used it way too frequently, or that they probably used it more than 3 to 4 times a week. It's stuff like that. Like, that's what I mean. Like, even though it didn't work well for the person that was suing, that doesn't mean it won't work well for everybody. Nothing will ruin every single person's skin. And all the people on Twitter, they were mentioning, like, how bad it was, and how, like, the lawsuit against, and like how, like, this lawsuit is justified, blah blah. And like the lawsuit against the St. Eve's skincare company, it went viral and everything. But here on Reddit, I see people use it all the time, and they discussed that it only caused micro tears because the person wasn't using it right. And it just goes to show that just because a lot of people hate on something, that doesn't mean that everybody will hate it. And it just goes to show how, like, misinformation spreads like wildfire sometimes. And I really hate that. All those people talking about, oh, like, the face scrub sucks and it's doing this and it's causing micro tears, only because the person themselves didn't use it correctly. You know what I mean? Like, I hate when misinformation spreads so wildly like that. Like, it's just so, like, all these people on Twitter were just, like, following along and following the hate train and all this other, and all the Redditors are like, that we've been using that literally for as long as we have. It works just fine for us. We just don't use it as frequent and as often as the person suing did, and the person suing didn't use it right. And then boom, spreads like wildfire. For what? For what? You know what I mean? I hate how misinformation spreads. That it's also very common to spread on TikTok, but luckily enough, I've like I said, I've edited my For You page to only look at things that I want to look at. But man, I hate when misinformation spreads on social media. It's just such a frustrating thing how, like, it just spreads like wildfire. And like I said, like that quote said, people don't care about the truth if the lie is more entertaining. And it's just sad. People just lie for, not even lie, but people just, like, don't even care about the truth anymore. They just care about entertainment. It's just ridiculous. And another Tumblr post that explains very in depthly how, like, misinformation spreads. This one is kind of like a funny example. So this happened like years ago when I still had my Tumblr. There was this one post on Tumblr that went viral, and it was a picture of skin that kind of looked like someone with vitiligo. And it was supposed to be like this cool and inspirational post about like loving your skin regardless of any skin conditions and stuff like that. And the person posting it, the original poster, was like, hey guys, this is a picture. It was a zoomed in picture, and the skin in the picture looked like someone with vitiligo. And it was a zoomed in picture, and somebody was like, hey guys, this is somebody with vitiligo. This is what it looks like. And this person's skin is still beautiful and blah 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 and all this other stuff. It was a zoomed in picture of like different of basically it looked like skin with vitiligo. So the person posting was like, this is a skin thing with vitiligo. This is what vitiligo looks like. Love yourself regardless of skin conditions. And it was supposed to be this really big inspirational post about like loving your skin and all this other stuff. And guess what? Literally, guess what? It was found out that the zoomed in picture of like this skin type was the picture of a horse dildo. No, seriously, like it is the weirdest shit. Like I'm gonna like no, seriously, it was the picture of a horse dildo. Like I can't even like it's just so funny. Like that is just it was crazy. I remember like laughing like crazy. I was laughing my ass off when I saw that Tumblr that post on Tumblr. It was so crazy. You know what? I'm going to find or look up that picture online, not of the entirety of the horse dildo, but just it's a zoomed in picture, so you won't see anything too like X-rated. Like so, but I'm gonna find a link to that Tumblr post and I'm gonna link it into the description of this episode link so you guys can check it out. It was fucking insane and hilarious to think about. I'm sorry, I don't mean to like carry up. Like it was a horse dildo. Like how crazy is that? Like it was supposed to be so it was supposed to be like this big inspirational post about loving your skin, and it was a horse dildo. Like just what? But either way, I just want to bring up that point. Sorry, had the giggles. But anyway, let me get back on topic. I just wanted to bring up that post to explain to people how misinformation spreads. And the original post, when it says it had vitiligo, it had like these hundreds of thousands of interactions and reblogs and stuff like that, and on Tumblr. But it turns out that, and then after a while, people were like, this is not a person with vitiligo. This is literally a horse dildo and stuff. And like it started, and after people realized what it really was, it started spreading. People realized what it really was. The post started circulating more to like, and a lot of people were like laughing at it too. And it's a really funny post, but I just wanted to use that post as an example of how misinformation really does spread. Like it's really crazy. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna post the link for that post and I'm gonna put it in the description link because that's pretty fucking hilarious if you think about it. Another thing that I hated about social media is people hating something because of their personal opinion versus hating something under the premise of like morality and virtue and stuff. Like there's a difference between like, oh, I hate this thing personally, and something like, this thing is objectively bad for the following reasons. And nobody on social media seems to understand the difference yet. I was gonna touch up on this more. I was gonna touch up on this topic more in the next episode because the next episode was something I wanted to talk about. I was gonna talk about cancel culture. So I was definitely gonna elaborate on this point more in that episode, but I'll still briefly talk about it in this episode too. So anyway, I hate when people claim they don't like something for like their morals and values and stuff, when realistically they just don't like it in general and hide it behind like a morality reason. I also see this with like people liking things as well. People only like things if it like serves a purpose or like has a good cause or stuff like or something like that. And like it just kind of like that's so off to me. Like I mean, yeah, it's good to like things that have a good cause, but sometimes you can just like stuff just to like it. You know what I mean? Don't need to necessarily like a reason. Now, mind you, some people do certain things or some people do like certain people or things in society and pop culture that are like good things morally, and that does like deserve to be recognized. Like recognizing good deeds is important. And also some people do speak out about the bad things people have done because people deserve to be held accountable if they do something that's like legitimately, objectively, and morally wrong. Accountability for wrongdoings is also very important. But like I feel, sometimes when people like certain things, they try to like find a moral or virtuous reason to like it as opposed to just liking it. And if they actually do like it for a virtuous reason or a moral reason, then that's fine and that's totally understandable. But still it's like it's not needed. Like for example, if someone liked a movie, they'll say stuff like, "Oh, well, I like this movie because it signifies the indication of the true importance of feminism and woman empowerment, and it touches up on blackness and people of color and justice and addresses the needs of the poor and the less fortunate while being socially conscious and morally responsible," and stuff like that, as opposed to just being like, "Oh, I like this movie. It was awesome. It had a good plot and it was a good storyline and it had a great ending." Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you know what? If the movie did touch up on like woman empowerment and justice for people of color and black people and stuff like that, and it addressed the needs of the poor and was socially conscious and stuff like that, like if it was that, then that's fine and all, and that's totally awesome, and that's absolutely great, and that's fine to recognize. But you don't need a reason like that to like something. You can just like the movie for the sake of liking it. You don't need an in-depth reason. Also, for something you don't like, you don't need like a problematic reason to dislike it. Like if you dislike a TV show, you don't have like I feel like nowadays if people like dislike sorry. I feel like nowadays if people dislike a TV show, they would say stuff like this TV show is problematic and it's offensive and I'm so offended and I can't believe they would say that and da 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 and this is that and that is this and all this other stuff. And you know what? If a TV show actually was being problematic or like it was offensive to a certain demographic and because of that you dislike it, then that's fine. That's completely understandable. Like that's okay. I get that. But you don't need a reason like that to dislike something. You can just say, "Oh, I hate this TV show. I don't care for this TV show. I think it's boring and stupid and I don't like the plot." Like you can dislike the TV show just for the sake of disliking it. You don't need an overly in-depth reason. And if you don't like something or someone, then just say that. If you do like something or someone, then just say that. You know, you don't need a social justice reason. And I think that like social media has normalized us thinking that we need a bunch of people to agree with us or we need to have like a lot of people back up our opinions via like viral retweets and like excessive engagement. So people think that if they hate something or like something, then they need to like a lot of people to like back them up on those feelings. So when we hate on people or things, we want to feel valued in our hatred, or when we love people or things, we want to feel valued in our love. But you don't need a bunch of people to agree or disagree with you. Like who you please and hate who you please. It's completely up to you. Like, and also I feel like people are ashamed for what they love and for what they hate. Like I feel like every time an individual person doesn't really care for somebody that like almost everybody else loves, people are always like, "Oh my god, how could you hate this person? Like they're so cool. How could you hate them?" And like if somebody likes somebody that people don't really care for, people will say, "How can you like this person? They're so bad and like they're so just like bland and horrible and weird. And how are you like? Are they paying you to like them? They're stupid. Are you on their payroll? Why don't you just hate them like we do? Why do you actually like this person? Ew, like no, they're not cool. You're not supposed to like them and stuff like that. Like you know what I mean? Like I feel like people are shamed into hating people or forced into liking people because they don't want to like stand alone. But it's like, fuck that mentality, Because we weren't all meant to like the same things. We can have a difference in opinion on things in society. Like, it's okay. We weren't all meant to like. Oh, sorry. I thought I just saw something. Sorry, my bad. I thought I just saw somebody come in. Never mind. Never mind, nobody came in. Anyway, as I was saying, we weren't all meant to like the same things. We can have a difference in opinion on things in society. We were not all meant to like the same things. We weren't all meant to have the same interests and feel the same way about celebrities or influencers or pop culture and movies and TV shows and other things and stuff like that. We weren't all meant to like the same stuff. That's just not how the world works. Everybody all can't have the same opinion. You know, if I like something, I like it. If I don't like it, I don't like it. If it's whack to me, it's whack to me. If it's cool to me, it's cool to me. No amount of social media talk is going to change that. Like, that's just me. I mean, unless the celebrity is being called out for things that are like objectively bad. Like, okay, I get that. Like, even, my faves or the celebrities I love have gotten called out for stuff. And like, okay, I get that. Like, yeah, people want to, call people out if they've done something wrong. And I get that. And, it's important to, be accountable. And, I get that. But, people make mistakes. So, but still, but whatever. But, people make mistakes. So it's whatever. So, yeah. Um, I feel like people, even still, back to my point, I feel like people are forced to like what they like and hate what they hate because they don't want to get dragged for their unpopular opinions. This isn't all the time, but I think this is like sometimes or a lot of the times. And I also think some people are scared of how they'll be perceived by the general public if they speak their mind or say they're in favor of certain sentiments or opinions or things and stuff like that, or people and stuff like that. Or sometimes they'll stay quiet because it's considered taboo or uncommon or bad to like the thing they like or the person they like or the celebrity they like or the stuff they like or the show they like and stuff like that. Now, this usually like happens like when people are scared to speak their mind. Or they stay quiet because it's considered taboo or uncommon to like the person they like. That usually happens when you stand a celebrity that may have made a mistake in the past and stuff or was considered problematic at one point. Like, for example, I love Cardi B. But she said some things about like transgender people in the past and like in a jokey way when she was making a joke before she like blew up to be as big as she is. But like, it was still wrong and stuff. But she apologized for it. So I mean, it's like, so if I said, in this day and age, oh, I like Cardi B, then it's possible that people might be like, oh, well, then that means you disrespect trans people or you hate trans people because she said something about trans people and blah, blah, blah. So if you like Cardi B, then you must hate trans people. And, that's not true though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get like, okay, yeah, she said that and like, yeah, but like, that's not true that like, that I hate trans people by saying like, oh, I like her content and stuff. And I get like where they're coming from when they're saying like, hey, this person said this fucked up thing, and if you're saying that you support this person, that you may also support this fucked up thing. But like, that's not true. Like, you can love someone and not agree with everything they do and say and stuff like that. And also, Cardi apologized a lot. Like, Cardi's apologized and she's corrected herself so much since she made that comment and stuff like that. And so I still like her. And I also still support the entirety of the LGBT community and stuff like that. And I'm not going to defend what Cardi said, and I don't agree with it, but she apologized and she corrected herself ever since then. And I still like her and I still love her. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean when I say I think some people like they're scared to say like, oh, hey, I like this person because it's just considered so taboo to like them, I guess, or I don't know. Maybe that's my opinion, but also, let me give you another example of why sometimes people don't speak out about stuff because it's considered taboo and they don't want to like be perceived a certain way. One time, in college, I was doing this video on YouTube for STEM majors on like why you chose STEM and what you love about in like STEM and stuff like that. And my video on my video was on like why I chose STEM and my love for math and stuff. So then someone commented in the comments of my video. They were like, yes, another person of color in STEM who loves math and who's a woman. I love that you're doing this so much, and you're an inspiration to many. And that's what the comment said. The comment also said stuff like, like the comment said, Lee, you are very smart, direct, and kind. And I love the fact that you are a female African American math geek and that like you love math and you love STEM and stuff like that. Thank you for this role model. I love the video and stuff like that. And that's what they said. And honestly, it was a really sweet and harmless and kind message, and it was really sweet to me. I really appreciated it, and it really made me happy. Um Sorry. Anyway, like, I totally get where she was coming from. Like, how I could be an inspiration to women of color and stuff like that because I'm a black woman in STEM. So other black women in STEM could like look up to me, blah blah. And like, I get it because representation matters and stuff. Like, I totally agree with that, and I get where she's coming from. It was a really sweet message. So then someone beneath the comment was like, race doesn't matter. This is why we have so much divide. It's just 20, like, it's not as serious. Any gender and race can pursue a STEM career. And then not me, but this, I'm repeating what the person from the comment said. The comment said this. Race doesn't matter. This is why we have more divide. Any gender and any race can pursue a STEM career, in this day and age. I'm a woman in one of the most poor states in the country, and I'm doing great in my STEM career. So let's stop focusing on people's race and gender and what they're doing. Um, and when they're Let's stop focusing on people's race and gender. uh Wait, what? Let me repeat the sentence. Sorry, I said the sentence wrong. Stop focusing on people's race and gender when they're doing something good, and just look at everyone as people and their accomplishments. Maybe then our country wouldn't be so divided. And honestly, I do agree with a lot of that too as well. Like, I see where she's coming from, because like, someone's race doesn't matter, and we're all like people. Like, we don't have to focus on race like literally all the time. Like, you know what I mean? So this was a scenario where I see it from both sides, and I agree with like both comments. I thought the first comment was really sweet, but I also agree with the second comment saying that race shouldn't be seen as the most important thing like ever in the world. But I was too scared and shy to respond to the second YouTube comment, because like, I didn't want people to read that comment under my video and like seeing me agree with it, and I didn't want those people to like look at me differently. You know what I mean? And I didn't want people to bash me for it or think I don't support diversity, or I didn't want, and also I didn't want to name like Uncle Tom or something and stuff like that. And because, like, I just didn't want that. Or like, what if like somebody from a future job sees that or stuff like that, and they were like, oh, we can't hire you because of this, stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? I agree with it deep down, but I didn't want to agree with it in real life, or like publicly, because I don't want people to look at me a certain way. And I think some people are just like that on Twitter and social media sometimes too. I think deep down they do agree with certain like hot takes and opinions, and they do like certain people, but they just don't want to admit it because they're so afraid of like a backlash. You know what I mean? But like, even still, it's okay to have an unpopular opinion. I don't think people should let the opinions of others dictate how they feel, because like, there are billions of people in this world, and they will all see things differently. And also, sometimes what people see in other things is a reflection of them. The flaws they point out in other stuff just shows what basis they judge themselves. That's why we should all just be ourselves and live our own life and have our own opinions. There are so many different people in the world. We're all going to see things differently. We can't always agree all the time. Just be who you are and live your life and have your own opinions. If other people point stuff out, that's a reflection of themselves and stuff like that. And the flaws they point out, or the things or the opinions they have and stuff like that, or the flaws they point out and other stuff, it's a reflection of how they judge themselves. That's it. But that's why we just gotta have our own opinions. Everybody can think differently. It's up to you. And I think this podcast allows me to set up questions and answers for listener feedback while I make the podcast. So I'll ask you guys a question. What's something in society that social media dislikes, whether it be like a movie, a TV show, a product, something, or anything else that you personally like adore, or that something you really like, or something you really enjoy? Like, what's an unpopular thing that other people hate and have like written off all over social media that you love? I'll leave the link in I'll leave the link for that question, or for the answer to that question, in the description of the episode, so you guys can answer it. Kind of this time I want to try to like do something different and do a little like listener user feedback and stuff. So you guys feel free to answer that question. What's something that people online literally hate and don't like at all, whether it be a product, movie, TV show, whatever, that you actually really love? Yeah, like, that's really something I hate about social media. Just every like, people not letting people have their own opinions. And another thing I hate about social media is social media groupthink. And all people thinking the exact same way about things. I think some people only like stuff because it's considered a trend to like it. And I think some people only hate stuff because it's considered a trend to hate it. And it's the same thing with like other things in pop culture, like celebrities and stuff like that, and just different things in media and so on and so forth. I remember back in the day on social media, we all had different opinions on people, things, celebrities, so on and so forth. But now we all like the same people and we all hate the same people. How do we all have the same opinions about the same people? That's not possible in real life. And sometimes like I hate the think pieces and the video essays and the reviews that have like ran rampant online. I think sometimes like those little video essays and reviews online and stuff like that. I like that's on YouTube a lot. I think sometimes they seem forced and the people making them overanalyze things. And I see this a lot in like people who are analyzing movies and TV shows and other things in media and stuff. Some of the think pieces and video essays and stuff like that are pretty like, cool, and analyze things that are pretty cool, but sometimes they do too much. You know what I mean? And especially those video essays that break down a piece of media on YouTube and stuff. Sometimes they will take like this, they'll make this rather simple and straightforward piece of media, sometimes like even like a cartoon, and they'll make it seem like some masterpiece written by God himself. Or like if they don't like it, they'll make it seem like an insult to humanity as a whole. Like it's so forced. They just say shit that like sounds nice and fancy until you like think about it for 2 seconds, and they're like, and then you're like, that doesn't sound right. Like, you know what I mean? Like they'll take some simple line of dialogue, like someone being angry about something, or then they'll like you take that and then they'll like go on about how like it's really a deep metaphor for the traumas they've faced and for the destruction of innocence in man. And it's shit like that. It's like what? Like, and 9 times out of 10, it's just not that. It's not. It's just like some dude who got into a fight over some bullshit or something. Like it's not like always a deep dive into toxic masculinity. So like shit like the like okay, yeah, sometimes those conversations are important to have, but not all the time. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like people just invent depth where it's not there. And part of it is just a trend, but another part I think is people trying to justify whether they like or people trying to justify why they like rather like mundane and straightforward dumb fun things in the media, which is totally fine. You can adore that shit. But you don't have to turn it into this poetic masterpiece to justify your enjoyment and elevate your love for that thing, and put it into something it's not. And this goes for hating something too. People try to make the fact that they didn't like something seem more logical than it actually is, when ultimately it's just preference. They'll use all these buzzwords and blah 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 to make it seem like it's like the worst thing ever. And people see that and then they nod their heads and they're like, "Oh, you know what? That sounds smart. I'm going to think like this now too." For what? And then people will see those video essays and all this other stuff, and then they'll see all these people agreeing with it, and then they'll participate in the group thing and be like, okay, that person feels that way, so I'm gonna feel this way. That person feels this way, and I'm gonna feel this way. And it's like, okay, sometimes it makes sense if they're bringing up a point that like you never realized before, but sometimes you don't always have to like agree with something just because somebody said it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it makes sense if they're bringing up legitimate points, but other times it's like you can have your own opinions, and if somebody feels a way about something, that's them, but you don't have to agree with them. Like I've legit seen comments in those like YouTube videos or like those little video essays that like analyze media and stuff, and they'll say stuff like, "Wow, I never played or watched or read this, but this video makes so much sense to me. Absolutely true, spot on. This makes total logical sense. Even though I've never played this video game, I hate it. Even though I never watched this show, I hate it. Even though I never read this book, I hate it because blah 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 and stuff like that." Or like people will say, "You know what? I used to love this thing that you were talking about in this video, until you explained to me why I'm so wrong for liking this and how dumb it is," and stuff like that. Like people stop liking things just because somebody said so. And like I said, if they're bringing up like genuine points about how like it's wrong or weird and stuff like that, so be it. But still, like I still think it's wrong. Like to participate in groupthink. If it's something where like they're calling out like something legitimate, then okay, fine. But not in those scenarios. Just in those scenarios where people just all kind of come together and is like, okay, hey guys, I think this is wrong, and let me post a video about it. And everybody in the comments is like, absolutely true, 100% correct, absolutely spot on. I totally agree with you, even though I literally never thought about it myself. I'm gonna think the way you think and blah blah blah. Like for what? It's all groupthink, and it's so annoying. Literally, I hate social media groupthink, and it's scary to think that people can just come together and just all feel the same way about something because the media, because a whole bunch of people online said so. And and what really scares me for that is the children, because kids are so impressionable. Like too many kids are getting their entire personalities and their worldview from social media. They have little to no understanding or understanding of respecting or exploring other people's perspectives. All of their opinions are informed by the timeline online. Anyone whose views differ from like those kids is like automatically seen as the enemy. It's like it's very black and white, there's zero middle ground. This shit is really scary. I've even seen kids online who are like 14 or 13 making TikToks like, these are my thoughts because blah blah and so said so. Like, what? It's scary, you know what I mean? Because kids are so impressionable. Like, some kids, they don't even get the opportunity to think for themselves. Social media is a dangerous, dangerous place for a person who doesn't truly know themselves yet. You'll end up having other people's opinions as your own if you're easy to persuade. So that, it's really something to think about. And something else I hate about social media also is that people will hate on anything or argue about anything just to hate or just to argue. Like, why can't people just be normal and silently disagree with certain tweets and just scroll on? It's like people have opinions and hot takes on fucking everything. Like, even on things that don't even matter. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not talking like about like people who are like have opinions that are like horrible, like dogs deserve to be abused or some shit like that. Like stupid, like horrid opinions. I'm not like people will argue over like, this show's better than this, her music's better than that, like just stuff like that that don't even matter, or just like things that like people argue about anything. Like people argue over any fucking thing, even things that don't even matter. And honestly, like I think social media has like normalized that. Like, you know what I mean? Like people having opinions on everything, people arguing over everything, people having hot takes on fucking everything. I think social media has like normalized that, for us to be like too opinionated and stuff. I think social media normalized that. Like there are opinions on everything. If we saw someone walking down the street wearing something we don't like or something, we would just see it and just be like, I don't care for it, and just go about our business. But if that person is on Twitter, we're commenting on it excessively and all this other, and doing all this and all this other. It doesn't make any sense. It makes it seem like everything is like, and also it makes it seem like everything in the world is quote unquote for us to comment on, but it's not. Not everything is something for us to react to. Some things are just just things. Some things are just how they are. They don't automatically require a reaction or a response or commentary. People argue over the most ridiculous things. Like, and I'm not talking about like actual legit stuff, like I said, like fighting for like human rights or something like that. But like the most like mundane and harmless opinions, people will argue over. And it doesn't make sense. And also another thing is social media has normalized being a hater. It's totally normalized being a hater. Like people comment on strangers' pictures for being like so rude under the guise of like humor, when they really just want to be mean cuz like they probably hate themselves too. It's not normal to have a strong opinion on other people's lives and what people do and like every little freaking thing. Other people's accounts, their pastimes, what they do, blah blah blah. It's zero of your business. 0% of your business. So people just need to take a chill pill. You know, people argue over anything. People discuss things that like aren't even up for discussion or don't make sense to even be up for discussion, but people still discuss it. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, example, right? One time on Tumblr, people were I saw all this post that it didn't go viral like hundreds of thousands, but it had thousands of retweets, and like it was people were finding out about how about Dwayne the Rock Johnson's wife. His wife is white and Dwayne the Rock Johnson is black, and people were really sad about it. Like people on Black Tumblr or woke social justice Tumblr and stuff like that, they were really sad about that and mad about it and stuff. Why is that something to be mad at? That is not fucking normal to be mad at that. Like that's weird as hell. It's weird as fuck to be offended by the race of someone's personal dating partner. Like that's just so weird. People are just gonna date who they want to date. Who celebrities date are not like political statements. They're romantic partners or sexual partners. And stuff like the celebrities, they're romantic partners and they're sexual partners or whatever the case, their partners and stuff like that. They are not something that people need to discuss. If people like someone and they want to be with someone, they're gonna date them regardless of race. And that goes for that goes for regular people and celebrities. Nobody cares what like y'all little people on the internet say or think, so just shut up. Like they comment on everything for what? If you hear that somebody does something, you don't need to comment on it like, oh, that's bad because, or I don't like it because, or that's wrong because, or that's stupid because, and I don't feel a way about that because, and because, or oh, I don't like this because, or I don't like that. For what? Like it's just ridiculous. People have to give an answer or an opinion for everything, or they have answers for things that weren't even questions. It's so stupid. Like it's just ridiculous and just I hate it, you know? So, given all these factors and all the things I told you about, the points and stuff I don't like about like social media and stuff, and also the stuff about like stan culture and wanting to tone that down and like, wanting to live my own life and stuff like that. So, given all those factors, I realized I was done with social media. I hated I hate everything about it, and like I just deleted my Tumblr and my Twitter and I went to Reddit instead. Like I was just so done. And like, Tumblr and Twitter could be entertaining from time to time, but I was so done with it. And for me, the bad outweighed the good, and I had to go. I was so done. So I deleted my Tumblr and my Twitter and I went to Reddit instead. So Reddit was pretty cool at first. I really liked it. Reddit's totally awesome. It had so many cool memes and funny jokes and stuff, and it was great. And it kept me very entertained after I deleted my Twitter and my Tumblr. I loved all the jokes and all the the very laid back environment that Reddit had. It was totally great. And on Twitter, you can pretty much see anything related to anything and any topic if you don't mute it. But on Reddit, you can choose the subreddit to be in. And so you can choose the category and the topics that you want to be in, and like the media you want to engage in, or the media you do or don't want to intake, because you can decide, what subreddit to be in. I really, really like that about Reddit. So yeah, I deleted my Twitter and came to Reddit for a bit of like noise back from the overly politically correct world I saw on Twitter and Tumblr. However, as time went on, I felt like the opposite side of like social justice warriorism became too extreme on Reddit. It was to the point where like people on Reddit are just like so casually racist and sexist towards minorities and like women and stuff like that. And it was really crazy. And I barely ever get offended by anything. So if I get offended, then it has to be actually offensive and rude. Like Reddit, sometimes there's a dark place in there on Reddit sometimes that can get a little too like nasty and problematic and stuff like that. And I don't like that. Let me give a few examples. There's this there's a sub called like r/Indian people Facebook, and the sub includes, like, when I say sub, I mean subreddit. Sub means subreddit on Reddit. But anyway, there's a sub called Indian People Facebook, and basically, excuse me, the sub includes like Facebook post screenshots of guys who are Indian, and it posts like the screenshots are of the Indian guys that are like being thirsty and acting horny in the comments under like a girl's pictures on Facebook. And in the subreddit, people would say stuff like, Indian men, they are truly some of the thirstiest guys on the planet. Or they'll say stuff like, good lord, Indian men can be so gross towards women, and like they're so thirsty and blah blah, and they're simps and all this other stuff. So I was like, so I once saw like someone like in a different subreddit that talked about the subreddit. They like called out how like this is literally a kind of like a racist comment, and they were downvoted like crazy. And it's like, why are people downvoting this? Do people genuinely believe that Indian men are the only type of men that can be thirsty? Literally, any guy of any race or any ethnicity can be thirsty, not just Indian guys. People all over the world can be thirsty. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, or anybody could be like saying like explicit things in like gross pictures on Facebook, not just Indian guys. Any guy of any race could do that. So why are people only laughing at Indian guys? Like what? That was just wrong to me. Also, sometimes I think Redditors are kind of mean to women too. Like there would be like a funny post of a meme with a woman like involved, and people would call her all kinds of names like, oh, she's a hoe, or call her a trashy. People will say stuff like be gone thought. And I know that's like a Vine reference and stuff, but still, like it's just unnecessary. And anytime people in the comments say, hey, this meme is funny, but name calling is unnecessary and blah blah blah, and like you guys don't have to be mean to the woman in this post, then everybody in the comments would comment under that comment, and then they'll like call that person a simp or something, or a white knight and stuff like that. People will like people will say stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense. Like for what? Maybe they're just saying, hey guys, don't bash this person. That doesn't make them a simp or white knight, or that's just a stupid thing to call someone anyway. But yeah, like people were just kind of mean to women. Like also, people would see like a post like of a cute couple, and like if the guy's an athlete, people are gonna be like, oh, she's a thirsty bitch who only wants money and shit like that. And it's like, bro, you don't even know her. How are you just gonna assume she's a gold digger? Just because her boyfriend's an athlete doesn't make her a gold digger. Like, geez, like it doesn't make any sense. Like people were just mean to women. Like I just feel like they were kind of hurtful to like girls and stuff like that. I thought they were just kind of like mean, and there's like a plethora of other like examples I could like go in, but you know I don't want to take too much time on this podcast. But I just saw different like every single time it was a post of a woman, it was just something that was just kind of like, you know, kind of hurtful or mean, or a jab at like women, and it was just kind of stupid. And I'm like, okay, that's really unnecessary. Like, you know, we don't need to do that, you know. Sorry, I was drinking water because you know I'm talking so much. I want to make sure I hydrate because you know I'm talking a lot. I want to keep my, you know, my mouth hydrated and stuff since I'm talking so much. But anyway, also occasionally on Reddit I would see things that seemed like pretty racist, or like had pretty racist undertones towards like minorities and black people and people of color and stuff. Like one time there was this post in this subreddit called Made Me Smile, and Made Me Style is a subreddit, or sub if you will. It's a sub where like people do like cute things that like essentially make people smile, little adorable stuff that you would see that video and be like, oh, stuff like that. So basically, the post, like, it was this girl. She did something really sweet for her sister, and both of the girls were in the post. So both of the girls that were in like the post, they were both dark skinned and black, and they looked like they could be like of African descent and stuff like that. And like, so there was this redditor who was, you know, non-American, and they said that in the comment that they were from an area in the world with like literally zero black people, so the only indication they get of black people is from watching some American TV shows, even though they're not American. And so the Redditor asked, like, why do these two black girls look much blacker than most of the black people on American TV shows? Their skin is so much darker and their hair is so much stronger. And, you know, are they a first generation African or something? And, you know, like, okay, you know, the person had a question because, you know, they're in an area with zero black people. And he's like, okay, you know, I get that. But, like, people answered the question like this. Like, people answered the question like, oh, well, most black people aren't this dark. Most black people like are mixed with some white somewhere in their ancestry, and being this dark is rarer than being slightly lighter. So yeah, they're African. Being this dark is rare. It's not like pretty normal to be this dark and blah blah blah. And I was just like, excuse me, what? Because I'm dark skinned. I'm not rare. Like I'm not. I'm dark skinned and African. We're not rare. We exist. Like How is being dark skinned rare? Dark skinned black people exist and we're literally everywhere. Like, we're not rare. We may not be like seen as frequently as like light skinned people are in TV shows, but like we literally exist. How is that like rare? Like, you know what I mean? Like what? Like it's comments like that that made me feel a way about like Reddit sometimes. And like these are just a couple examples, but I could literally, maybe I should like post like on Imager like 1,000. Well, maybe I won't, because that'll take a lot of time to like look up and stuff like that. But I could literally post like thousands of examples and stuff like that of just little racist undertones and stuff like that that I've seen from like people on Reddit. Like it was comments like that that made me feel a way, and it made me just feel like, like it made me feel like people kind of viewed black people as like abnormal sometimes on Reddit, or like we were other, or we were something different. Like, I get that people are going to be curious about what they don't understand or something they've never seen, because that person said, oh hey, I'm from an area that doesn't have that many black people, so I have questions. But the way people answered it, like calling dark skinned people rare, like, you know what I mean? Like still like and people even would like in the post, like one of the girls in the post had dreadlocks, the other one had an afro. People were asking stuff like, how do people with afros sleep? What are dreadlocks made of? How do you wash dreadlocks? How do you, like, what is this? What is that? Like, what does that do? Oh my god, stuff like that. And it's like, okay, I get it. It's like they didn't grow up with hair like black people's hair, so maybe they're just curious. But like the way they would ask the questions and the response and the follow up questions, it just made it seem like they treated like us black people like so like abnormally. You know what I mean? Like, some, like, okay, people are gonna have questions. Like, I get that. Okay, that's fine. And even I don't have a problem with answering the questions that they may have. But the thing is, like, at what point do we cross the line between asking questions because you're genuinely curious versus like asking questions because like you view them to be like so like different or abnormal that you don't view them as normal? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why are you asking us like questions as if we're like other, like we're not an alien? Like, you know what I mean? It's, and also like do black people on Reddit who are from areas with zero white people, do they go on Reddit and ask white people how white people wash their hair? Do black people online, do they go and ask on Reddit, do they go and ask white people what white people's hair is made of? No. There are black people in Africa who grew up around zero white people. Are they going on like online forums and stuff like that? Like are they going on online forums and stuff and asking white people how they wash their hair and what their hair is made of and stuff like that? Like, no. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. And you know that, well, I mean, I don't know whether they're doing that or not. I don't know the entirety of what Africa is doing. Africa's a whole continent. I have no idea what they would be like. I don't know, but or maybe it did happen and I've never seen it. But like, just in my experience on Reddit, I don't see black people asking white people those questions. You know what I mean? But people ask us those questions. It's like, for what? Like, I mean, and well, then again, they're just curious. But sometimes it just feels like I'm being othered, like I'm some kind of like alien that needs like questioning. Like, whoa, like what's this thing? Like, I mean, I've never watched ET, but like in the movie ET, like how people like view ET to be an extraterrestrial, like how he's just like a different person from Earth, or like a different from the average person. They have like all these questions, like, whoa, like why are you this and why are you that? Sometimes that's like the tone that they would ask the question in. Like, they're asking like, how do people with afros sleep? We sleep comfortably. Like, that's how we sleep. No, I mean, and I don't mind answering their questions. Like, one time somebody asked that question and I just answered like, oh, we just sleep, um sometimes we put our hair in bantu knots or twists or this or that, or maybe just go to bed with like a nightcap and stuff like that. Like, maybe they really are just curious and they just have like genuine questions that they've never really got the chance to like ask people in real life, so they want to ask us before they go out in real life. But like, it just, sometimes I just felt like, so othered. You know what I mean? And I don't mean to make the people who were asking the questions feel bad. They have questions that deserves to be answered, but I don't know. I just, the questions aren't wrong, but people are curious. But I just felt, to an extent, I just, sometimes on Reddit, I felt like they would treat black people like they're an other, and it was just kind of awkward. And also, sometimes on Reddit, their dark humor was a little too dark, and it was just an excuse to like be actually racist. And I don't mind dark humor, even if it's like I don't mind dark humor if like everyone is being made fun of. Like both black people and white people, both women and men, both rich people and poor people, and like all ethnicities, backgrounds, orientations, and demographics and blah blah. If they're all made fun of equally, I'll allow it. Like if it's dark humor where they do stuff that like if they do stuff like that where like all the demographics are being made fun of, I don't have a problem. But I feel like all of the dark humor on Reddit or all the dark humor subreddits and stuff like that, their dark humor was only towards black people and women, and they just like kept punching down. It seemed like every joke was like race related, and it's like honestly, like I said, I'm not even sensitive like that, and even I crack jokes about my own race and stuff like that all the freaking time, even me myself. But it's like, but most of the jokes I would see on like the dark humor subreddits and stuff like that, they're just unfunny and straight up racist. Like I enjoy a good joke, even if it's like a little like raunchy, or could possibly be like LOL, black people be like, or something like that, like something funny and stuff like that. That's fine. I enjoy a good joke like that. Even I crack those type of jokes like that sometimes. Or also about Africans, like, oh, African moms be like, and stuff like that with me and my sister, because like we can relate because we have African moms. Like some of the jokes be like, they like that if they touch up on a stereotype or something like that, it can be funny if executed correctly and stuff like that. And even I crack those kind of stereotypical jokes myself. But the dark humor like subreddit jokes, they were just really not good spirited. And honestly, if I find the joke on there offensive, then clearly something must be wrong, because I don't even be getting offended by shit like that. Like I literally do not get offended that easily at all. So if I'm offended, then something must be wrong. And something that's funny that is about like the dark humor subreddits is that they always talk about like black people and immigrants and gays and women and stuff like that. But you can't really joke about white people in those subs. You know what I mean? Or like about like white guys. Like saying black people are all evil animals is apparently funny and like acceptable enough and stuff like that for those dark humor stuff. But saying white people like bland food or white people can't dance is enough to like start a war. You know what I mean? Like if the jokes included white people, then like I personally wouldn't complain. But if it's always just like a blandly racist statement with no punchline, trying to like use a thin veil of humor to avoid getting called out, then it's like, no. If a dark humor subreddit is going to be a dark humor subreddit, it has to like be dark humor for all of like the demographics. You don't just keep punching down at black people. If you like punch down at whoever, then it's whatever. But to only punch down at us, it just seems kind of like weird or discriminatory and stuff like that. Like just no, And there's just there's other examples too. Maybe in a different post I'll post them, because I don't want to like keep you guys for too long, because this podcast is getting pretty long. But it was just so many like points. Those were like some main points, but there were just so many points where like I realized like I thought Reddit was kind of just like just just being annoying. Like I just thought Reddit was like kind of racist and sexist to an extent. I just didn't like it. And I think I think I saw that like Reddit, it kind of reached a dangerous point on Reddit. Like it reached a dangerous point where people find nothing to be racist or sexist or homophobic or even offensive at all. And personally, I think that's just as dangerous as finding everything to be offensive. And like I said, even at the beginning, from the beginning of this podcast, I agree that we live in an overly politically correct world, and social justice warriors take it too far sometimes. But I just feel like we should also not get so annoyed in the politically correct world that we become completely desensitized to actual discrimination. And when people becomes and people have become so desensitized to discrimination to the point where anyone who calls out um like someone like being mean to women in the comments on Reddit gets labeled as like a crazy social justice warrior feminazi and stuff like that. And I'm not a social justice warrior, I'm not a feminist, and I'm usually the last person to call something offensive. However, I do not like hatred towards any demographic, including towards whites and blacks equally, which is why I deleted my Twitter and my Tumblr. And I hate seeing on Reddit too towards minorities and stuff like that. Like I hate it regardless, period, whether it's about white people, black people, minorities, non-minorities. Wrong is wrong, and I don't like seeing it anywhere. Um it just it just got pretty insane on Reddit, to be honest. I mainly came on Reddit to just get away from social media and all of the annoying social justice warriors and the annoying people with their annoying opinions on every freaking thing. And then I realized like some people on Reddit are like actually discriminatory, and I was just like, okay, this is kind of wild. Like, you know what I mean? I wish there was just like a happy medium in the middle where there weren't like extreme social justice warriors, but there also wasn't like extremely racist people or sexist people or homophobic people and stuff like that. Like, I just want to like be in the middle. I want to be like an area in the middle. I want to live in a world where like everybody gets along online and stuff like that, and everybody kind of just like just gets along with each other. Nobody's being too extreme on one end, nobody's being too extreme on another end. Like, I just that's the type of environment on social media that I want to like have and stuff. And also like outside of like the reasons I just listed, sometimes Reddit was just annoying all in all. Like, I think they hate on like pretty harmless things sometimes, and it's really annoying. Like, for example, let me list some things. For example, every time like somebody shows off their talent or like shows off an accomplishment, Reddit would like refer to it as like, oh, self-promotion and bragging. And like, if somebody wants to show off that they did something cool, how is that wrong? Sometimes when people show something that they did that's like really cool or really awesome, the comments would always be like, wow, self-promotion much, asshole? Why are you self-promoting? This is such self-promotion. Bye. Go back to Instagram if you want to be a narcissist. And it's not like they're being conceited. What are you talking about? Like, why are you calling them a narcissist and stuff and saying it's self-promotion? They're literally just saying, hey, look at this cool thing I did. It's not that fucking serious. Sometimes, like, when a talented person wants to post themselves and post original content, then like, suddenly it's like, oh, they're narcissistic and all this other stuff. It's pathetic. So I thought that was kind of weird that every time somebody posts something cool, they talk about, oh, it's self promotion and stuff like that. That was pretty dumb. Excuse me. And like, also another thing that I want to talk about was that anytime there's a post including a kid, people claim like, oh, like, that's child exploitation, and like they're posting their child just to like just to exploit their child for like likes on Reddit. Like, somebody could say something like so harmless, like, hey guys, my kid tied their shoe, and we'll post their kid tying their shoe, and people be like, this is child exploitation. And it's just like, shut up. Like, it's never that serious. Maybe they just wanted to post like a cool thing of their kid. Like, it's not that serious, you know? And like, also, they randomly hate on girls who do like TikTok dances and stuff. And like, that's such a dumb thing to hate on. That's literally so harmless. All they're doing is having fun and dancing. Like, if it's not people's cup of tea, then that's fine. But I don't get the severe amount of hatred that like dancing and having fun receives. And some people act like they're forced to watch every single item that's posted on the internet. Like, if you don't like the dancing girl TikTok videos, then just skip it. It's not that difficult. Like, people have like a wild hatred for like people doing like dances on TikTok. It was so weird. People want to dance online, let them dance online. Like, who cares? It's not that serious. And also people hated on like music and rap music for like some reason. I have no idea why, but they just did. They hated on pop stars and rappers and stuff like that. Like, it was just so annoying. If rap or pop isn't like your favorite genre, so be it. But it's like, let other people like what they like, you know? They hated pop stars and rappers and stuff like that for no reason. Like, it was so freaking annoying. Like, I literally hated it. It was so annoying. Um and I feel like they were harder on like pop stars and rappers than they were like on like rock bands and like rock music and stuff like that, and metalheads and stuff like that. Like, I feel like they were meaner to pop stars and rappers than like any other like artist in a different genre. Like, I just felt like it was kind of mean. Yeah, that was kind of hurtful of them. But yeah, I could go on and on. But maybe one day I'll post like on maybe one day I'll post a blog and like stuff like that, because I think my Anchor allows me to like hook it up to a WordPress, and maybe I'll post like an in-depth list of all the things about Reddit that I really did not like. But that's just like a kind of like a pretty much like what do they call it? A summary of all the things I didn't like about Reddit. Now, mind you, I don't hate Reddit entirely. Like I said at the beginning, I like how it's like, well, the Reddit that I post is mainly about like memes and fun and stuff like that. And you can like choose the media you want to intake because you can choose the subreddit you want to be in. And also, I like how it's not like always as like politically correct as Twitter and Tumblr, and it's pretty laid back and stuff. But I had to take a break from Reddit because I didn't like those aspects. Like, I didn't like the random racism. Every single post, if it's a girl, it's random sexism. If it's like an Indian, the Indian guy Facebook thing, and just random stuff like that. Like I would always see subliminal sexist things, or like subliminally racist things, or like any post that like has like a black person, or sometimes posts with like Middle Eastern people and stuff like that. People like I remember even one time I saw this post of this girl who was Middle Eastern, and then she was like doing like race car driving, and somebody said she's Islaming gears and stuff like that, and like Islam, like is slamming, like is slamming, but Islaming gears and stuff like that. Like she is slamming gears, but it's like a play on words with Islam. And like, haha, very funny. They're trying to make jokes and stuff like that. Like I get it. And they're trying to do play on words, but like they were always like, if it was like a post like involving a Middle Eastern person, like the top 20 comments was all about something in regards to like the Middle East and being Middle Eastern and blah blah. But if it's just like a white guy, or just like a generic like guy that's like white, people focus on the post. But every time it's like a woman or a person of color, it's always about the race of the person, or the gender of the person. I thought it was just really annoying. So that's something about Reddit I didn't like. And in addition to all the other things I laid out about Reddit that I really didn't like. So I took a break from Reddit because I didn't like those aspects of Reddit. So I took like a 3-year break from Reddit because I was really annoyed. But as of recent, I started like going back to Reddit somewhat, and I decided to just leave any subreddits where I see like constant negativity. And constant things I really do not care to see and stuff like that. I think with Reddit, it's easier to not come across things you don't want to see on social media, because like on Reddit, you can join subreddits based on interest. So that's cool. So I mainly only go there for fun memes and fun stuff and things like that. And also, I use TikTok as well. I like how TikTok has like that not interested button where you can choose like to not see similar content in a certain video if you don't like a certain video. And like I said, I edited my TikTok feed, like my For You page on TikTok, to only include videos of fun and cool things that I'm interested in, or like stuff like that, or like things that like I actually like. Nothing including celebrity news, think pieces from social justice warriors, and so on and so forth. Just like fun, entertaining stuff that I want to see. And I scroll on Instagram sometimes too, just to see how the people I follow are doing and stuff like that. I don't really have a problem with Instagram. I mainly just follow people I know, and a couple meme pages, a couple motivational pages, and just entertaining stuff. So Instagram is fine. I wish they wouldn't do that thing on Instagram though, where like they show you quote unquote similar content, like as in like similar stuff that the people you follow have liked, because it's like, why am I seeing content from people that I don't follow? So that's kind of annoying, but whatever. Yeah, sometimes I scroll on Instagram. Also, I still have my Facebook that I made when I was a kid. And I barely get on it, but sometimes I get on it when I'm bored, just to like look at funny memes, or just to see how everyone, like all of my friends on Facebook, are doing. Most of my Facebook friends are old classmates and old friends and stuff like that. And I do the same thing with Instagram too. And and on Instagram and Facebook, I sometimes upload pictures. So that's what I do on those two social media sites. And yeah, just to wrap it up, I mainly do use like Instagram and Facebook, just like just for the reasons I just said. And then I mainly also use just TikTok and Reddit after I curated it to be what I like. That's pretty much all the media I use and stuff. In terms of like social media, I've really had it, had it in with social media. I've had my ups and downs on it for sure. I think social media can be really negative or really positive. Um, Depending on how you use it, it can be either really negative or really positive. For me personally, my experience with Twitter and Tumblr, it was good at first, but it became terrible. Instagram's cool for me, Facebook's cool for me, and I get on it to scroll and just post pictures of myself sometimes. My Reddit and my TikTok has been edited and narrowed down for me to see. So that's exactly what I want to see on it. No negativity, no excessive content that I don't care to see, no stupid hot take from social justice warriors, no bullshit I don't want to see. Only stuff I care to see. And that's what made my social media experience a lot better. I only want to see what I care to see. And I only take in things online that are things I care to see. That's what made my experience very well. So that's my experience with social media. Okay, guys, so that pretty much wraps up today's episode for Lee's Unpopular Opinions podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I have been keeping my promise about uploading every 2 weeks, if you guys have noticed. So that's awesome. I really hope you guys enjoyed my episode today. Don't forget to check out the links in the description for this episode so you guys can send in your responses to my questions and stuff like that. I think the link before wasn't working the way I wanted it to, like the link for you guys is responding to stuff. So, and I think it forced users to make an account before they could like say things or respond to me and stuff. So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, use the link in the description to send answers to the questions I post and stuff like that. Or if you wanted to see the nails that I did, or not I did, the nails that I got done at the salon, at the nail salon and stuff like that. Or if you wanted to check out the post about the horse dildo. But yeah, feel free to check those out. They're in the description of the episode. The link is in the description of the episode and everything. So all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week.